Hello and welcome to New World Podcast, New World Comics Podcast. Whichever number this is, 6,
Number
7?
6.
Yeah, it is 6.
5.5. Yep. With me is Stephanie Cerny. Also with me is Brad Reed of Nerdz to Men fame, also the voice of God here on New World Comics Podcast.
Yeah, bless you.
And I am Buck Berlin, owner and head honcho of New World Comics.
Yeah, you are. I got to tell you, at the Comic-Con, every time we would do our little breaks on Nerdz to Men, I'd be like, we're here at New World Comics. Oh, wait, no. We're at New World Comic-Con.
We just wrapped up New World Comic-Con 4, and I am exhausted. and so Stephanie is, I mean, she did so much for it, but the last couple days, I put in more time on that than I think anybody. So
Yeah?
well, because I had to make Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, thanks to the turtles.
Yeah.
That was a big undertaking.
And then there was moving the store, which I had a lot of help with.
Right.
And
thank you, Mama Cage.
yeah. The whole Cage family.
Yes.
All of them helped. Yeah. It was amazing. But yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. One step at a time.
Yeah.
We're a little excited.
little excited, little punchy.
Yeah.
So if we go a little off the rails, pardon us. We're sorry. We swear we'll make the next one better. Let's talk about New World Comic Con. What did you all like? What did you all? What was the most fun?
I got to tell you, I was so impressed. I mean, we already mentioned it, but the Ninja Turtles, that made my day because, tell me, did you mention that you had met the Ninja Turtles when you were younger?
I went to Anthony's and I met one of the Ninja Turtle mascots. Like, he was there.
Yeah.
And we got to take pictures. And the line was like from inside the store, and it wrapped around the store, and it went out to the parking lot. And my parents were like, we will buy you several action figures if we don't have to sit through this line.
Yeah.
And I said, I've never met a Ninja Turtle.
Right.
I have their action figures. I want to meet a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Can we go in and just look at him?
Right.
I said, I don't think we can do that. Let's just meet him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we stood in line, and I got my picture taken, and my mom loved it, except for there was one of the cashiers just had such a surly, sour look on her face.
Right.
So and it was like the third thing that you saw in the picture. It was big Ninja Turtle, then me, and then this woman just
who wasn't having it.
It
anymore.
looked like we had insulted her family on like a just soul crushing level.
Right.
So my mom took another copy of the picture, shrunk it down, and put it over that lady's face.
That's funny.
But so it was one of those really big, like, squishy mascot suits.
Mm-hmm.
So it was less impressive when I actually saw it, but it was still really neat to me.
Yeah, of course, and because they send those guys out like every once in a while, and same thing even now. Like, the lines are ridiculous to meet them, But, I just thought it was great for the kids, and even me as an adult getting to see these Ninja Turtles out at the Comic-Con. And not only that, April O'Neil, Shredder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it was going to be a big deal for everyone, and it was definitely a big deal for me, just because it was such an undertaking. I
think, like, by far, this is the biggest thing that we have ever built and done at the shop.
Right, and I've said it a couple times before, but I had recruited some help for this because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it all.
Right.
And all of the help fell through. Like, just everyone involved just dropped the ball.
Yeah. Well, it takes a special knowledge to do too, because like I was like, put me in, and you're like, well, do you know how to do this? I was like, no, I don't. I am actually just going to be in the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where it's convinced me that I need to learn to sew. Like, I'm going to teach myself how to sew from this.
Yeah.
Just because, it's like when you do group projects and you realize, oh, I'm the only one doing this in the group.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was my favorite thing this year.
Oh, good.
Honestly, it was awesome.
I am so glad to hear that because it almost killed me.
Yeah.
And I can't thank, Whitney Cotton enough.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she came up and helped, and my wonderful wife.
Yes, Kira came up, and then our buddy Scott Sackett came up and helped with painting.
Yeah. My wife painted all the turtles. Well, three of the four turtles. Their skin was painted by my wife.
Yeah, they look amazing.
And then the day before the con, while everyone was set up, I came back to the store to paint the turtle shells, and I got the probably second worst sunburn of my life.
Yeah.
Just on the back of my neck.
Yeah.
Still there?
Yeah. So I'll get cancer later. But I hope I hope everyone enjoys the turtles. But yeah, the day before the con was just such a busy day for us because we had the Children's Advocacy Gala that night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so while I had to be there as the presence for the store, making sure that everyone knew that we were still out in the community doing all this stuff and that we were a resource for them. Everyone else was at the con doing everything, so I was sitting there just trying to play nice and make sure that all the characters were doing everything, and then I hosted a superhero school there. And then immediately after that was done, we came back to the store and worked until 12:30 that night.
Right.
And then we drove back over to the Centennial Building at the State Fair, dropped off the costumes, and went to bed.
Yeah.
And then got up the next morning.
And we got up the next morning at 6:05.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to sleep maybe around 1:30.
Yeah, it was a rough day. Like on Friday, I was at the Centennial Building for about 14 hours.
Yeah. I saw you guys.
Yeah, we hung out for a couple hours. Which
I went out there
awesome.
because I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long day of setting up tables, and I got there and it was all done. I was like, sweet.
State Fair does that for us now. We had to fix everything because everything was just a little off. But I'll touch on some of the process of the turtles, and for those watching the video, it'll be a lot more interesting, just because we'll have pictures kind of going throughout this explanation. But I started with making a basic pattern off of one of our guys' heads, because he has the biggest head of the four guys.
Oh, okay.
And I knew if I made his, then we could pad out the rest.
Was that Dre?
Josh Flowers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't even know who was in the costume.
Oh, yeah. For not to reveal secret identities or anything.
Yeah.
But, Leonardo was Josh Flowers. Dre Braggs.
And Josh Flowers' head.
Yeah, Josh Flowers right here. Yeah. Dre Braggs was Michelangelo.
Okay.
Jared Kuntz was Raphael.
Yeah.
And John Porter was Donatello.
And Cameo was like on deck all day. He was just hoping somebody would be like, get me out of this. Put Cameo in it.
Yeah, well, of the four of them, Dre sweats the most. Dre sweats more than the three of them combined.
Yeah.
Like, he looks at something warm and he just goes. Which, we always try to plan accordingly.
Right.
There's a fun story about him and just, taking a mask off of him and just his sweat just coming at me. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so making the costumes, we used Josh Flowers' face as the base, and then I got some air dry sculpting clay and just tried to make the snout of the turtles, and I made it on the face and then covered it in plastic and then did a trick where you can put duct tape down and then cut it off of there and try to lay it out flat and then cut wherever it sticks up. And you can flatten it out and make patterns. And then from there, I built up and kind of refined the shape until I got more or less what this is. And then I worked really hard on several different prototypes for the shell.
Right.
And it was such a nightmare just because it's not a hard shape to replicate, but it's just kind of so specific because it's an oval that is bigger on one side but smaller on another, and it's as far as like the height of the back, like you couldn't just take an egg and try to just take it off that. It's just specifically turtle shell shaped. So I tried several things, and then I found a big giant Michelangelo figure that we have, and I patterned his shell and then scaled it up. And I got the basic shell from that. And then my wonderful wife made the what do you call them?
Well, she made kind of like patterns.
Yeah, the pattern. The turtle shell pattern on the back.
Did you have to kind of measure every person that you planned on being in the costumes to find out
the best
the
part
scale?
Was they were all kind of generally the same size.
Yeah, I cast on. I cast the turtles based on what their personality type was, and then from there I pared it down to who is similarly sized.
Right. Okay.
And because it was more important the personalities fit.
Right.
Because you can adjust. Custom wise.
Sure. And I think you did a good job because I saw the guys dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, they look like the turtles out there.
Yeah.
They
it was
did
great.
such an awesome job.
Yeah, and I made sure that the front of the shell set just so that they could still walk around and dance and kick and do whatever they wanted to do. The shoes, I had asked all of them to get the most comfortable, cheap shoes that they could get because I was going to cover them in foam and do the feet. And they all got different shoes.
Oh.
Some not as comfortable as others.
Yeah, two of them got the cheapest leather shoes that they could find, and then two got sneakers.
Right.
Like brand new sneakers.
Some actually had like memory foam on the inside. Like they thought about like walking around all day.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them did not.
They were just like, here you go. And honestly, if you think of the types of turtles that they are, like the character of the turtles, you can guess which two
made the best decision.
made the best, and then which two made the worst.
I know it right here already.
Yeah, it was really kind of fun to see all of what came out of there, and the condition that everything came back in was exactly what you would expect of the turtles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One turtle shell was a little bit rougher than another. And not saying that they destroyed anything or damaged anything, but it was just you could see that one of them had more wear than the other, even though they all wore them the same amount.
Well, could have been because I remember when I worked at one of the radio stations that has a mascot, I'd have to wear it sometimes. And pretty much everybody who worked in promotions would have to wear this cat mascot. Every now and again. And so like one day they had this thing at Crossroads Mall. It was like the gathering of all the mascots from, the Little Caesars guy was there.
Okay.
And like so they're like, Brad, go put on the cat suit and go out there. So I did. And all these kids like run up to you and they like hug you and, some of them kick you in the junks or so some of that could be, just the children that were probably like, come here, Ninja Turtle.
From what I hear, everyone was really pretty respectful.
Yeah, super respectful.
Yeah. And they were in the suits for hours.
Yeah, they took a lot of. They go a lot of rounds and then take breaks, drink water, go back out, do a bunch of dancing, do more rounds.
And those, kudos to those guys. Those suits don't breathe.
Yeah,
they're spandex, which isn't known for breathing so well.
Right.
Then there's latex paint on top of that.
Oh, really?
It's sponge painted on there.
Right.
And then there's the foam on the feet, hands, head, and then the shells.
Oh, wow.
So
we'll have to come up with some kind of water cooling technology.
There's, because we waited for the suits that I had commissioned to come in, I was planning on putting stuff like that in the suits.
Right.
But since, the person that was making them didn't get it done on time,
right,
I couldn't, so we just went with, whatever was quickest. Like in the last, I'd say 3 weeks to month, I put all the real time in on these.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a wasted moment. It was just kind of, what can we do right now? Because I had to get the turtles done, but I had to also get the con done.
Yeah.
And I knew that the Turtles would help sell the con for everyone else. So it was just this back and forth between what's more important, getting stuff for the con or getting the things that are going to promote the con.
Right.
So
I think a couple evenings I would come in and work on the patterns that Kira made, kind of cut them out.
Cutting out for the back
on
of the
foam,
shell.
And then like while we were doing that, we would talk about what was going on with the con too.
Yeah.
I just have to ask, I mean, do you know of anybody else who makes the costumes like this? And did you have anybody to learn off of, or is this, I pioneered this?
No, there's a guy on YouTube named Evil Ted Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He, my buddy Than Medlem, does probably the best Batman you'll find locally.
Right.
Like he's absolutely one of my favorite people, and definitely my favorite Batman.
Yeah.
Anytime that we can get Than as Batman, it's okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's perfected Batman more than anyone else we have. So we used to do mostly cardboard and duct tape costumes up here, and everyone would have their snide comments.
Oh yeah.
Your stuff looks cheap. Well, it's because it was cheap.
Right.
And we didn't have a lot of money to put into costumes, and we didn't have a lot of time to put into costumes.
Sure.
Because we had to make everything weekly. And he introduced me to the craft foam and everything that you could do with it.
Yeah.
And then he says, there's this guy who made a helmet, and I bet you could take that basic helmet idea and make a Magneto helmet. Mm-hmm. So I looked at his first video. It's how to make a foam helmet, and it essentially is making a Magneto helmet.
Right.
So I made that and loved it.
Right.
So I looked online, and there were some other foam patterns, which there's from the Prop Replica forum. There's foam patterns for just about any character you could think of, including Ninja Turtles, but they're really complicated, and you have to know how to cut them and the extra steps that you have to do to them and the angles that you hold your knife while cutting.
Oh, yeah.
There's undercuts and overcuts, valley folds. It's just really complicated, and it takes so much more time than making something like this.
Right.
But yeah, the way that he did everything, I saw the basis of what he was doing and figured out that I can adapt that to so much more. Because once you can kind of find a shape or something that matches that, you can set it out and pattern it, and then from there figure out how to make a thing.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, anyone who wants to learn this stuff, Evil Ted Smith.
Right.
Go look at all of his videos. They're insane.
I just thought, since I've been hanging out, I'm just going to start filming it, putting it on YouTube, and charging people to watch it. Like, here, you can learn from the master. Buck.
Yeah, we need a cut.
No.
Yeah. There are a few people up here that have learned what I do. Like Carrie, who was Supergirl most of the day during the con. She and her husband Marcus have done this, and they do amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So
well, I was looking at a couple of things like a Batman cowl and stuff. I wanted it, and then I thought I could get Buck to teach me how to make it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I tell everyone, if you want to come learn, as long as I'm not super busy or swamped or post con, I'm more than happy to sit down and show people.
So I have now till like May.
Yeah.
And then after that, I've missed my window.
I mean, Batman Day is coming up in September.
End of September.
Yeah.
Nice.
September 22nd.
Yeah.
So,
that's right. Batman Day.
Yeah.
Wait.
So, yeah, it'll be all hands on deck for that soon.
Yeah,
so.
I'm in. I'll be Fat Man.
I don't know. There's a surprising amount of things that you can do to kind of hide things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on which Batman you're trying to be.
That makes sense, because I was looking at the Turtles. I was like, I don't think all those guys have the muscles. Like, you did a good job of bringing it out.
There's the paint job does a lot, and then there's the proportion with foam, and there's a lot of design that when looking at a costume, it's not the you can't be that character because you're that size. It's what do I need to do to downplay this and upscale this?
Right.
One of the things that most people don't quite realize in comics is that their hands and feet are drawn way bigger than they actually are.
Yeah.
So when you want to make someone look more impressive, you give them bigger gloves and bigger shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so the turtles, I made sure that they had bigger hands and feet.
Yeah.
Than they normally would. And that helped kind of shrink their bodies, and then their heads were a little bit bigger, and it made everything kind of in proportion.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, but yeah, thanks to them, we got a huge turnout. Like people saw the turtles and shared it on social media.
Yeah, I had this right before they went on stage for Superhero School. All the guys were lined up back, and I got this amazing candid shot of them all. And I posted it to the New World page, and a lot of people kind of started sharing it, and I posted it to Instagram. And I think it got a bunch of people to come out.
My personal trainer was like, I was at work and saw the Turtles picture trending.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's really cool.
It's my favorite thing, because it wasn't a planned picture at all. It was such a candid shot, and it's just a gorgeous shot.
Yeah, well, and the cool thing is that the four guys get along famously.
Oh yeah, and you can totally tell.
Yeah, and their personalities just match, and they just razz each other, just like brothers.
Well, and it's cool that because you like you're talking about casting them according to their personalities. Some people might think, well, you just put somebody in the suit and it'd be what it is, but you're actually putting a lot more thought into it than just that.
I mean, that's how we handle superhero schools.
Right.
It's not just because someone has a costume they get to be that character.
Okay.
I mean, it does sometimes come down to that.
Right.
If we're in a pinch and we just have to fill a role or whatever, we will do the, okay, well, we desperately need this character. You can fill in for this. But we always try to cast towards character.
Right. That's cool. And it makes sense because they'll bring more of that character out.
Right. And we have some people that, want to be other characters, and we say, all right, well, prove it to us. Try it.
Yeah.
And we'll give them similar things, and if they can prove that they can do that, then hey, here you go.
Right.
But if you can, it's the let's play to your strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Well, and I always feel like sometimes the cosplay chooses the people rather than them choosing the cosplay.
Right. I mean, they're that, like I know that, as a big fellow, I shouldn't throw on the spandex suits and go try to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you'll see like the long-haired, blonde-haired guy. Of course, he's Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, funny you say that. Our buddy Steve, who was our Superman, like, I think of him as Superman first. We would always joke that he was Thor. Mm-hmm. Well before we did Superhero School.
Right.
So much so that one of our friends that did knit caps knit together this really elaborate Thor beanie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we gave it to him, and he became, hey, it's Thor at the zoo.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's we tried to cast all that, and then it worked out real well with the turtles.
Yeah, so. It did. It was great. That was, like I said, that was one of my favorite things of the whole day.
Yeah, and so many other people. Yeah, like hundreds of people came out just to see it.
Yeah.
Which speaking of the turnout of the convention, I don't have the final numbers yet, but one of the ladies at the fair came up around, was it 1 or 2?
I think it was around 2:00.
Okay, yeah, about 2:00. She comes up and she says, "Hey, just so you know, you're already 200 people better than you were at the end of the day last year."
Yeah.
So yeah,
which was just an overwhelmingly like I cried.
Yeah,
like,
and it didn't slow down after 2 either.
Oh, no.
It was all the way up till 7 when we when we wrapped it up.
Yeah, around 4:30 ish.
Well, I would say right around 5:00.
5. Okay,
when
yeah,
the costume contest started.
Yeah, because that's about when it kind of died down visually for me.
Yeah, because everybody was gathered at the
panel room.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, speaking of the costume contest, oh my god.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Yeah, we should have some picks going through right now, just of some of the winners and contestants.
Yeah.
So my favorite, the winner of the kids this year.
Yeah.
We were talking last time about our winner from the very first.
Yeah.
Was the Rainbow Batman.
Right.
His sister won this year.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's awesome.
So he came up to me afterwards. He says, "Buck, I didn't win because I won that first year, right?" Right?
Yes.
I said, "No, kid, hers was better. Do better next year.
Do better."
Yeah, and then their parents, which made them, were like, "Thanks, Buck."
Yeah.
Which I've known them as long as I've worked here. They're phenomenal.
What was the winner dress?
She was Warrior
Cinderella.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she had a sword and everything, and like it was her own design.
Yeah.
And that's what sold her for. She said, "Well, I designed it, and I told them what it needed to be and how I wanted all of this." And yeah.
There was some people that showed up early and came by and visited us. One was dressed like, instead of Finn from Adventure Time, she was Finola.
Fiona. Yeah.
Fiona. Yeah.
There's an episode where they.
Where it's kind of like a gender bent
and then
episode.
the BMO is that?
BMO. Yeah.
Yeah, BMO had a VCR tape that would come out of the. I thought that was awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, they came close on winning. Yeah. It's real weird for me with judging all these, just because I know most of them.
Right.
And I feel that since it's the New World Con, that I need to make sure that I'm there judging. So if there's ever anything that goes on, I'm definitely the one that's responsible.
Sure.
Because I want it to be beyond reproach of any kind of that guy's unfair, this guy's unfair.
Yeah.
I'm always going to give everyone the fair shake.
Right.
There's never any favoritism of any of it. And since I've done so much costuming, I know what goes into it.
Right.
Everything that I can't do, I know what I can't do, and I know the sewing that goes into all these things. Like I know how much work like the Disney gowns goes into that. Like that is just weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of work and prep and patterning and trial and error and seam ripping, and it's just such a nightmare. So like when you have someone in a Disney dress that they made, like just sit there and give them a round of applause.
Yeah,
like they've poured their heart and soul into this thing.
I saw another kid that was he was dressed as Tim Drake Joker.
Yeah.
And of course I love, the Joker's my favorite. So I was like, I want to take that kid home and adopt him.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah. He's one of our regulars in superhero school.
Oh yeah. Was his mom April O'Neil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, JJ, the Joker Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. And then afterwards he says, I didn't win because I help out at superhero school all the time, right?
Right?
No.
Be better. No.
Yeah. I said, man, look at your costume and compared to hers, I mean, yours was good, but hers was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. He had all the mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah, he does an amazing
he
job.
Was really good. I think I saw some pictures where he was like Robin before and stuff like that. So he did great. Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely one of our best actors in superhero school.
I bet you kind of wish you could give all of them like a prize, but somebody's got to win.
Yeah, I really wish that we could have given all of them prizes.
Me too.
Yeah. But next year. Next year we probably will. But yeah, the adult costume contest. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that one was.
Well, and let me just say, we had so many people enter this year.
Yeah.
Compared to last year, was so many more people entered.
Yeah. Which last year we had 2 men enter, and it was mostly women last year, and this year it was pretty close to
a nice mix.
Yeah, and it was so hard to judge, the adult section of it,
right?
Because there's a lot to really take in and into consideration. Like you don't want to necessarily discount the bought suits because there really is a lot that goes into buying a suit, and especially those that piecemeal it. Like there's a guy who was Red Hood. Everything was bought.
Oh yeah, his Red Hood is really impressive.
It's so on point. Yeah, like he had his dad, I think, paint it, and then he put on part of the fixtures for it, and the jacket his grandma bought him, and then everything else was like found sports gear. But it all worked, and he went through and made sure that each piece worked with every other piece, and that it looked like it was part of this particular costume. All because he wanted to have this very specific costume, and he knew that he couldn't sew that, and he knew that he couldn't make that mask. So knowing that that he put that much effort into getting that stuff, it wasn't just I'm going to spend thousands of dollars and have the best costume. He went through and found a way to get all of that. So he was up there for it. And then there was two ladies that did bombshell characters. Just everything about them was on point.
Right.
It was just so well put together and so nice. One of the wigs was like a $15 wig that she had one of her friends style, and it was just great.
Yeah.
But the one that was just over the top, just floored me, was this guy that was Ruby Rod from Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he was like the last one in the line.
He was, yeah. Which, I think that he did that by design.
Yeah.
He came out and was Ruby Rod.
Yeah.
And how? And there was one girl that was something from an anime that I knew nothing about, but I loved her costume.
Right.
It was hands, and when she touched a thing, it was decay.
Oh yeah.
And it was it's something that all the young kids were like, "How do you not know that?" I was like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah.
And like one of the hands was Velcroed to the top of her wig, and she had to sew in Velcro into the wig, which I know that's a huge pain. And it was just so good. And I was talking to the other judges, and they were like, "Well, we think that might be the best costume." I said, "Well, yes, but compared like to the bombshells, where just about everything's on point. Even though this is all more, probably more work went into each hand and affixing that and making sure that the hands didn't sag when they were on her, that kind of thing. Can you really say that this is necessarily the better costume to this?" And then Ruby Rod's was a found jumpsuit that he altered, and then got the boots and patterned the boots to match out of extra material that he found.
Right.
And then he took took two wigs and meshed one, and then put in the cone and really put in the work in it. And I felt that it was the most representative of every aspect of cosplay, because it was a found thing that's altered, that's sewn, that he put so much more personality into.
Right.
And I felt that overall that was the best costume.
Right. So that was the winner.
That was our winner. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I the costume contests are so much fun.
Oh yeah,
and like I said, a lot of people walking around in costumes this year. I mean, every year I've seen a lot of people, but it seemed like there was a lot this year.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
And not to discount the vendors either. We had more vendors this year than any other year.
Yeah.
And they all brought their A game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How many vendors do you think we had, or how many tables did we
had?
have?
134 this year.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cool stuff. Some of the stuff I saw, of course. I bought a comic book from Jessica Howard out of Tulsa.
Yes, I was so
one of her
excited
prints.
she joined us.
Yeah, the Love Metal is the name of it, and I got the Bad Candy from Robert Henry.
Yeah.
Who, funny story, like you mentioned this once before. Jerry Bennett and I, like I've known him since I was a teenager, like I was a young guy. Robert Henry and me used to work at Mazzio's together in Choctaw.
Oh, that's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, we just talk. We'd sit around talking music all the time, and now he's writing, or he's the writer on that, and they've got 2 issues out, so you should check that out. But lots of cool stuff, like Craze Lemming, I think, had a lot of cool T-shirts, and OKC had these Jerry Bennett T-shirts,
which they're doing a second printing of because it was so popular.
Yeah, because I was like, I need it in a black T-shirt, of course, and so at that time they were out of the black T-shirts, so I was like, I got to get one.
Yeah, I think now you have to like order it through like put in an order.
Yeah, I can't wait. Because I will wear that Jerry Bennett T-shirt everywhere.
Jerry Bennett is so hot right now.
Yeah, which they're such nice guys, and they do our con shirt every year.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they've done it ever since the first year, which it worked out way easier that first year because they were actually in the Paramount building.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was how do we set up this?
Yeah,
and it's cool because they sit there and print it for you right there.
Oh yeah, it's such a cool thing to watch them do too.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and then my wife set up for the first time this year, which she was so nervous about everything.
I had to talk her into getting a table, which is just insane. Like if you look at her stuff.
Yeah, she was the Cicada Song ceramics and
Cicada Song Designs.
Yeah, Cicada Song Design. Sorry. Con brain. We'll blame it on that.
Yeah, it's Mushy Brain Monday.
Yeah. But she goes to the pottery classes and she would come home with these just amazing things. I said, "Oh my God, why are you not selling these?"
Right.
And I understand when you make a thing, you kind of want to keep a thing because it means so much to you. And she says, "Well, do you think anyone would like them?"
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
everybody likes them.
They're phenomenal. You really think so? Yes. You have to say that. You're my husband. Well,
no. See, the thing is that now everybody says that.
Yeah. So now I have to take her down a peg, I'm sure. Yeah. Can't let her get too full of herself. Yeah.
There was somebody who had the bunch of toys. Not our buddy Steve, another guy.
Oh, you mean not Jerry Bennett?
Yeah.
Which for comparison, you'll see a picture here. All right. Yeah,
I had a couple of toy vendors. We had the Jala Brothers out there.
They were by me. They were over by me. Not too far from where I was, but I should have bought them, but he had like the Ninja Turtles from back in the day.
Oh yeah,
with the soft heads.
Yeah,
wow.
Heads. Yeah,
yeah, and I didn't even know that was a thing. And I was looking at the one. He's like, "What about these?" I was like, "Man, if I hadn't spent, because I spent a lot of money Saturday, which is fine. I got a lot of great stuff.
It was close to your birthday.
Yeah, we even had people bring me gifts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I complained about it so much. I was begging. But yeah, we did. We had some people stop by that brought us some stuff too. That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, then there was, I can't remember the name of the place, but they had like sculptures and like they had like Michael Jackson and Pennywise.
That's our buddy, Harold.
Harold Neal.
Those were cool.
Yeah, he is one of, he's one of the best sculptors I've ever met. Also, one of the nicest people.
Yes, and his son
meet.
loves me now.
Well, I mean, his son's amazing. His wife's amazing.
His whole family's amazing.
Oh my God!
But his son decided I was his new best friend.
Nice. Did you get a caricature done of you?
I did.
I thought I saw you sitting for one. That's cool.
Yeah, Raymond stayed late to give me a caricature.
Yeah,
and then tried to like not charge me money.
Nobody wants to charge you, Stephanie.
Take my money.
Yeah,
it was super cool. He stayed late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many of our vendors were just so effusive towards us. Like it was just, guys, y'all are doing such a great job. Thank you. And it's we're
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Still, even just on Saturday, as I try to go around and like say hi to everybody. People are like, "So when is it next year? Can I sign up for next year?" And I'm like, "We're not even done with this show yet."
And I'm just so afraid of us kind of getting a big head about it.
Right.
You know.
Speaking of that, how big a head would Jerry have if we moved it to the Bennett Event Center?
So that was our big joke last year.
Was it?
Yeah. And I was talking with one of the guys that is no longer with the state fair, and he said, well, for what you guys do, you probably don't necessarily want that because you're not allowed to set up stuff around each pillar and all this stuff. And then I talked to one of the girls, about it for next year, and she said, "Oh yeah, no, we're okay with all that now."
Oh yeah.
So there's a possibility because we are definitely expanding.
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah. It was big enough, and we would like to include gaming.
Right.
And we're going to look into all of that and see what it's going to take to
facilitate
that. Yeah, because it might mean that we expand the con to a couple days, which I don't think we're quite ready for.
Right.
One step at a time.
Right.
Right.
Or ticket prices might have to go up a little, but I that's the last thing that I want to do. But we're going to see a way to make sure that works and that it works for everyone and everyone stays happy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, you don't want to get too big too quick.
Right. And that's the thing that I'm fighting because I mean, give us a space. I bet you I can fill it with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have enough stuff and we have enough people that I bet you we could, but I just don't want to overextend all that.
Sure.
Because there's filling the space and then there's getting people to come and enjoy all that space.
Right.
So, and there are some smaller projects that we're going to work out and work on and have announcements later. But we're definitely going to go bigger next year.
So when you say gaming, you mean like where people could play, or okay,
yeah,
awesome.
That and all different types of games because we have people that have stand-up arcade games. We have tabletop gamers. We have the people that play the card games like Magic and Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like tournaments.
Tournaments
like
and that kind of
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know how to run that, and we want to make sure that it stays in the New World fashion of. It's not necessarily the most traditional way of doing a thing, but we want it to be the most fun for the most people.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want anyone to walk away unhappy about it. Because that's what we're all about is building community and it's not what the rules are for a thing; it's what's the most fun for everyone.
Yeah. It did feel like a community thing out there. It was
Good.
So awesome. Yeah,
that's what we go for.
Yeah.
Because I would rather everyone have a phenomenal time than us, just raking the cash. We all did okay at every vendor so far has just been.
Oh yeah, every vendor who has taught, even at the show, was like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a great show for me. I'm so happy with how things are going."
Yeah, I had so much fun. I think you should do it 8 times a year.
Deal. Stephanie, get on that.
Yeah,
No.
I think I learned something about that in economics, except there was a cheeseburger example,
Yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Wait, there were cheeseburgers there?
But
that's what I'm taking from this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one quick little story. And my wife brought me out a little bit of food to eat. And I love my wife. I'm not making fun of her. But she brought me the worst meal ever to eat at a con.
Ooh.
It was a fish basket. Fish and French fries from this place that they love, and I'm not bagging on her because she thought she was doing great.
Yeah.
But it's just a weird thing to be over there at the table
eating hush puppies.
Yeah. And then the smell of fish. I was like, a hamburger, a taco would have done.
Yeah.
She went big though. She brought the fish meal.
Which is that's one thing that we realized this year as opposed to all the others. We made sure that we were able to feed all of our helpers.
Yes.
And
everyone got breaks scheduled. I made sure people took breaks.
Yeah.
And they had food out there. They had chop or pulled pork and stuff like that. Hot links. It was I ate one of those.
Yeah. We made sure that all of our vendors were taken care of too. We brought them water and snacks and a lot of them didn't realize that if they needed someone to just watch their table real quick to go to the bathroom, that we would put one of our volunteers just to stand, like they wouldn't make any sales, but like they would just stand there and make sure that nothing walked away.
Yeah.
Which we'll do a better job of explaining that to everyone next year, I guess.
Yeah, a couple times I went by a table and someone was like, "Hey, can you just watch my table?" And I'm like, "Of course."
Yeah.
I did that too, but I walked away with something.
Oh no!
I mean, shh.
Way to go!
I got a lot of free stuff.
Oh man! So I know who's not coming next year.
Yeah.
Cameo.
Yeah. That'd be great. I would rather
I hear
Cameo
you
wasn't
already
there.
have a replacement for him for your show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Her name is Stephanie.
Yep. That's me.
So what's the coolest thing that you all bought at the con?
Man. Stephanie, you want to go first?
Yeah. So the thing I actually bought was from the Jawa Brothers table, which they sell toys. There was 2 packs of playing cards that were X-Men cards. They're from the 90s.
Right.
Full sets. And I got both packs for $4.
Right.
And I gave one to my buddy AD, and I kept one for me. And that was my only actual purchase from the con. I got my caricature later, and I just gave him a tip.
Yeah,
you know. But this really cool playing card set.
I'm really proud of 2 things I got. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff, but one of them, I got a few prints from Jerry, and I finally got the Howard the Duck one he has.
Oh,
nice.
That one's so nice.
Yeah, and I love Howard the Duck, and I got a few others from him. And then I think the coolest thing I got was AD's table. He had the Joker Batman table.
Nice.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, man, I can't leave without it, so I had to have it.
Which you'll find a picture of it here.
Yeah, I wish I carried my cards around with me in my purse for a long time, and I finally just took them out.
I bet you Stephanie will send a picture of it, and it'll be right
there.
here. We were so busy with everything that I didn't get a chance to go shop.
Yeah,
with
it was
everyone.
much hours later when I finally looked at things.
Typically, what I'll do is hey guys, I'm taking time for me to go shopping. And I'll pull the wife away and we'll go through the con and just kind of pick up stuff. And, I always try to buy a little something from everyone, because there's just so much neat stuff.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really have the chance to do that because I'd get part of the way through and then I'd be pulled off.
Yeah, you get stopped and somebody talks to you or something happens.
Or I had to go take care of something for someone so I would have to kind of, pick my battles. But probably the best thing that I found all day, right as they were changing things out, the Jawa brothers put out this Batman figure.
I'm so jealous.
Oh my God. Everyone, this figure is why I love comics so much. Like I got my comics, right after seeing the movie. And then not too long after I got this Batman figure.
Yes.
And like it would be so Batman's gonna have adventures with the Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and anyone else that that we had figures that man, Batman had all of it.
Yeah. I think I had these exact figures actually. Maybe I don't know if he had the Bat Rope, the one that I had, but the Joker.
Yeah,
definitely.
the Joker and Bob the Goon that kicked.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then eventually, all the latches on Bob the Goon's figure failed, so he just had his leg out. Constantly.
Man.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Yeah, and
how much did you say you paid for this?
$5, because those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
All right, you're not.
Brad,
you're not going to be out too much.
You, yeah. But yeah, I bought some cool stuff, but definitely this is one of those that, oh my God, it's that figure in package. I to this day I remember opening this this particular figure, how I opened it, and I looked at the instructions first before I played with it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like any of my other figures.
Yeah.
Like this was Batman.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I remember this would have been like my Christmas present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following Christmas, I got 4 Bob the Goon figures because there were only just a few Batman figures for this line,
right?
And no one knew that there were any other superheroes that I would ever care about. So they were like, "Hey, there's a figure that says Batman on it. We'll just get that for him."
Yeah.
Because there was a Robin that did karate chopping, and then there was Mr. Freeze, and I got a couple of Mr. Freezes too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, never got the Two-Face, but this Batman is definitely the end all be all of
that is cool.
Of what I bought.
That is awesome. What is that? Does it come with are those instructions?
Yeah,
okay.
Because his belt is the grappling hook, and you pull it out, and you can hook it on things, and it'll zip line them up.
That's awesome.
I always wanted that Batmobile. And now that I'm looking at the Batwing, I want that too. But I always wanted the Batmobile when I was young.
I got the Batmobile.
Yeah, I was about to say, we have some friends who can probably hook you up.
I never had
I'll play with it like I was a kid again.
Yeah, I never had the Batmobile, but several of the family members went in, I think, and pitched in and bought me the Batmobile.
Nice.
And oh my god, like the missiles fire, like there was a little lever where like your emergency brake would be, and you'd reach in and switch it and pull it up, and it would pull up the missiles as ready to fire. Then you'd pull it up again, and they'd shoot out and fire.
Nice.
Oh my god, it was amazing, and it had like one of those little clicker things that as you moved around, it would zzz. Yeah.
My Batman had to Uber. Yeah. He had to rely on his friends for rides.
So I did get something else, which kind of leads me into something else I want to talk about. Is the silent auction.
Oh, yeah.
Was I won a gorgeous picture of the creature from the Black Lagoon that Harold Neal drew for our buddy George, who's going to be on the podcast in a couple of weeks. But the silent auction is to benefit the Britain Elementary PTA.
Yeah.
And we just blew away how much money we raised for them this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because everyone was like, man, did the silent auction do okay? Did everything work out? Like, we didn't really hear anything from it. So earlier I came to Stephanie and was like, hey, I heard not great things about it. And she was like, oh, we did this. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff up there for
auction. Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Some amazing stuff.
Yeah, we had probably the best donations from our vendors that we've ever had. Most years it's, 10, 15 things, and I don't know. How many do you think we had this year?
Well, we had 4 8-foot tables, and all of the tables were full.
Yeah. So probably, 100 different things?
We had, and some people like the Jaw Brothers and Archer Fire donated multiple items. So we had groups of items that people could bid on.
Wow. Yeah, it was cool. There was a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. And supporting Britain is just definitely one of our favorite things that we get to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a neat school, and all the kids are just amazing. There's one of the classes in there that's it's the oldest group that they'll be in there. The teacher, which I know that she won like teacher of the school, but I think that she was up for teacher of the year, and she deserves it. She talked to the kids about integrity,
right?
And of all of the kids that I talked to, they were definitely the best class. One of the girls in the class barely spoke English at the beginning of the school year, and the rest of the class would take their time at recess and lunch and teach her English, how to speak, and like other things, and it was just so touching. That these kids, that could be off doing whatever they want to do.
Sure,
took their time and helped this, their fellow classmate. They didn't know if they would get along. They didn't know if they'd actually be friends.
Right.
But they taught her English.
Right. Yeah.
she's doing so incredibly well in that class.
That's beautiful,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the school to me. Like that example is everything that I love about Britain Elementary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good story because that perfectly illustrates how special those kids are.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing so incredibly well with what they get.
Right.
Every time we go out there, we can see the improvements that they're able to make with what we're able to give them.
And to say it like it sounds like it's just a dilapidating school. No, like it's a really nice school. It's just they just don't have a lot of resources.
There's not great funding. I mean, everyone's aware of that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But
totally.
given the where they're at, they just don't get the funding that they definitely deserve.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, those kids are ready to learn.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have all the resources and the things that they really need to get it. So
my buddy Adam Jones, he gave us a painting that we had in the
Hogwarts
auction.
painting.
Yeah, the Hogwarts. And I went by and somebody had bid on that, and I was all excited about it because that was actually. It was Adam's, but it was out of my personal collection. We brought out a few that we gave away too, and I was excited that they were able to, put that in the silent auction and go to a great cause.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the star of the silent auction was a Scott McClung piece.
Oh yeah.
That went for at least $75.
Really?
Nice.
The last time I saw it, it was at $75. Which was just amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, his stuff is just getting better. Like I've always liked his stuff. Last year, my wife bought me like his end all be all piece. In my opinion,
Yeah.
it was a collection of the things.
Yes.
It was the Thing from the Addams Family and
Oh, yeah.
Grimm, the Thing,
Nice.
and Man Thing and Swamp Thing and the creature from John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
All in one drawing, and it was just phenomenal. I teared up when she gave it to me. It was I love all of this.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Does he do like prints or anything of those?
Yeah. And he has some comics that he's done, and he's just a great artist.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, I think he's out of Norman, so we don't get to see him as often as I'd like to, but yeah, he's just so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And just such a talented dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's amazing. I didn't really see. I mean, I probably wouldn't admit to it if I did, but I didn't meet anybody that was not just really friendly and really excited to be there Saturday.
Everybody is nice.
Yeah, they really are.
Everybody's a big family.
You would think that many people, there might be one or two that's like, whatever, but they were all just really super excited to meet people and to be there. It was great.
And that's what I hear from most of the people that the con goers that would stop me, and do the, hey, you're Buck, you run this thing, which is it takes a little getting used to, but yeah,
you're Gary England famous.
I'll have that be my story for today.
Okay.
I don't know if I told that on this one.
I don't think we've told it on this one
because I think I told it on Nerdz to Men.
Maybe so. Yeah, they kind of run together. Sometimes.
Yeah, you all should look into Nerdz to Men podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
featuring
Cameo right here is on
Brad,
it.
Buck, and Cameo. I mean Stephanie.
But they said I didn't know that Oklahoma had this kind of comic community.
Sure.
And I said, well, I did.
Yeah.
It's rich, and that's not everyone.
Right.
We had a pretty deep wait list, and there were a lot of people that just couldn't make it this year because of scheduling conflicts. So to say that we're expanding the con isn't just the, man, I hope that we can do this. I know that we can do this because we have so many people.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of making sure that everyone's schedules work and all that.
Yeah, true.
And honestly, it was the lack of space. So going bigger next year is definitely an easy thing for us to do.
Right.
You talk to each vendor, and if they don't know everyone, by the end of the con, most of them do.
Yeah. And definitely having done it, if this was our third year being there. all the familiar faces every year.
Yeah, it's like a
family
reunion.
Yeah. It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, and we make sure that it doesn't stay just this insular thing.
Sure.
We make sure that it's always going to be a growing organic thing that once it feels stale, then we'll make sure that it changes, that it becomes what it needs to be. But right now it's this thing where everyone can come and be part of the family, and that's kind of what the store's all about, is come and be part of this family. It's you have the family you're born with, and there's the family that you choose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I choose you, Bub.
Oh, it's nice to be chosen. I choose you back.
I got some cousins. I don't choose them. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Cousins.
Okay, speaking of, my cousin set up. Yeah, Chris.
Oh
yeah. They were bad to the bowls. Yeah. They had 3 tables, 4 tables. Yeah,
they had 3, I think.
Yeah, and it's him, his kids, and his wife, and oh my God, they're phenomenal. I just love them.
I also got to shout out Ben.
Oh yeah, my nephew Ben.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I was helping afterwards to move stuff. And I would be like, "Hey Ben, what do I need to do?" And I was like, "I'm really taking instructions from a 13-year-old."
Yeah.
But he was in charge. I mean,
so 14 actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the kid looks 17. I thought
he does look 17.
And for the most part, he carries himself like he has definitely picked up some leadership skills around here. And
absolutely.
It's really weird to hear kids pick up on the leadership things that I teach them.
Yeah.
Or what they pick up from just me doing. But yeah, Ben was essentially like third in command at the at the con. Like Ben made sure that everything was happening, that everyone was taken care of, and if he had any concerns, he came to me or Stephanie and made sure that things got taken care of.
Yeah.
Ben took a little bit of time with his girlfriend, but then after that was back to business, and made sure that people were taken care of, that everyone was doing their job. If they weren't, he would take care of that and move people around.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Because Stephanie said, "Go find an adult," and I was like, "Okay." Where is an adult? So then it was Ben. Ben, you're the closest thing to an adult. Yeah. Other than me.
It's so shocking when he does something that's 14 years old. Like it's you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're so very much a kid.
Right. Yeah, because he is 14.
Yeah, I mean, he's 14 going on 50.
Yeah, he really is. And like you said, his face, he looks young, but he's tall. Yeah. I just never would have guessed that he was, like I said, I thought he was 17, 18.
And then he's got the big, massive broccoli hair.
Yeah.
That, I keep trying to get him to take care of.
That hair is great. I wish I had curly hair like that.
I mean, it'd be one thing if, he could, run a comb through it or something. But
no way. I have just long hair that's just straight, and I want the curly hair. But he probably wants straight hair. That's how it works.
Well, no, we actually had to have him straighten his hair for. Oh God, what was it?
I don't even remember, but he hated it.
Yeah. Was it Nightcrawler or it was something that we needed his hair?
I don't remember.
Straight for, and. It's so incredibly long too.
Yeah, I bet it was a lot longer once you straighten it out.
Yeah, but he's typically our Spider-Man. Yeah, and when he puts on the mask now, he has to pull all the hair back, and it looks like he has a growth on his neck.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just this. Oh Ben, come on.
There's been a couple times where I had to put his hair in a ponytail.
Yeah.
He did not like that.
That's funny. So shout out to Ben. He did a great job.
Yeah, we'll have Ben on one of these, which I was talking to him about. He was, well, what am I going to talk about?
That's exactly what he's going to sound like the whole time.
And I said, well, I mean, who's your favorite comic book character? He says, probably Spider-Man. Because he's just a really cool guy, and like anyone could be him because he's kind of the every guy.
Yeah.
And and we talked a little bit about Spider-Man, and knowing what I know about Ben, I said, well, what about Hellboy? He says, oh, I freaking love Hellboy. Hellboy. Yeah, Hellboy's my favorite. Hellboy's absolutely the best comic book ever. I don't know why people don't read more Hellboy. And it just start, going off on Hellboy.
Oh my God.
So that's what we'll have to have a Hellboy specific show.
Yeah, well, the kid I don't think realizes what all he knows.
Yeah.
There are times he does hey Buck, isn't this the first appearance of this person? And it doesn't, go for between this and this. I'm like, how do you know this?
It's because he's around when Bronson's here.
Yeah, but it's some of the stuff I have to go look up. Man, who taught you that?
Bronson.
Yeah, well, probably. But yeah, I can't say enough wonderful things about my nephew, and it's not just nepotism. It's this kid works hard, and honestly doesn't have to. Like he volunteers to come up here and work, and how's this? This is the perfect thing to end on before I tell my dumb Gary England story.
And before we end, I have to thank a couple people too.
Oh, of course, but
you're welcome.
Yeah.
oh, never mind. Sorry.
So I said, Ben, what did you like most about the con?
Oh.
And he says, well, I just loved that everyone was there. I said, you mean like it was, packed and that we got a lot of patrons for the con? He said, no, like all of our friends were there, like all of them. Even the ones that we don't see all the time. Like, I didn't really get to hang out with all of them, but it was just really nice to see them and know that they were there and that they were having a good time.
He has feelings.
Yeah, I know. It was just oh my God.
Aw, tear. Yeah. Little tear.
Yeah. And I asked him a little bit more about it, and he was just like, yeah, it didn't matter that I didn't get to hang out with them. It was just that they were there having a good time. I made sure they had a good time. Yeah.
Why does Ben sound like Tiny Tim now? Or not Tiny? Who's from oh my gosh, the Christmas Carol? Was it Tiny Tim?
Oh, Charlie Brown?
Yeah,
No, it was Tiny Tim.
No, it's Charlie Brown. Okay. Like, listen, I don't know which Christmas festival you've been talking about.
No. The only one is the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol. That's the only one I watch.
Yeah, but no, he just it was just so wonderful to hear that from him, because he's he is the kid that like sits in his room and just kind of like mopes.
He's growing
that's
up.
all kids. I think that's all of them. Like right. I have a couple of that, and they're super mopey.
Yeah. Stop dying, Stephanie.
No.
It was a long con for her.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Sunday, I almost lost my voice.
Oh yeah. I didn't do anything, son. I sat on the couch and streamed The Flash all day because I was worn out.
Yeah, I convinced Kira that we needed to go eat, so we went out to go eat, and then by the end of our one meal of the day, we just looked at each other and said, let's just go nap.
Yeah.
So we napped, and then we got up later, finished Glow, and then went back to sleep. So,
ooh, you finished Glow?
I did, but this is more of a Nerdz to Men conversation. So if you want to hear more about Glow, check into Nerdz to Men. All right, what is it, Stephanie?
It was so good.
It really was. For those that haven't watched Glow, it is one of the best written, best acted shows that I've watched in such a long time.
Dang, that's an endorsement right there.
I mean, just the subtleties of character, the little nods to the 80s and things like that really give it that timestamp that you wouldn't quite necessarily pick up on are all there. And it's just wonderful. And seeing the subtleties of character building and the fragile moments between people that mean the most when they don't necessarily realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that they made me hate my favorite podcaster, Mark Maron.
Because he's so wonderful in it. Like,
he's so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's, he plays not the best guy.
No.
And you can kind of, like, once you understand his motivation and how he doesn't necessarily want to be that guy, but he's trying to not be that guy, but he can't help himself. Like, it's so layered. And, I mean, there are some characters that are one-dimensional because they're one-dimensional people. and then there are the other characters that are trying to interact with them and don't understand that.
Right.
And it's just wonderful to see that. And the writing is so phenomenal, and the actresses and actors that play on it do such a great job.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was your Nerds to Men segment.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Check into Nerds to Men. That's Nerds with a Z, 2 men, or is it II?
There, I mean, on social media, use the 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're looking us up.
All right. Just because
we go back and forth.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
Yeah.
We want you found.
Yes.
Everyone, like and subscribe to Nerds to Men.
Thank you.
New World Count. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he likes us almost as much as he likes Glow.
Yeah, that's fair. No. So, Stephanie, you had some people that you wanted to thank?
For sure. The Cage family.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And the Lannings.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw Tony almost pass out a couple times.
Yeah.
And he would not stop.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stop passing out?
He wouldn't stop helping. Like, he almost loaded the entire U-Haul for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're oh my God, they're such amazing people.
Like the people that we have helping us are so selfless.
Yeah. And
I tell them how wonderful they are, and they're just like, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're so wonderful. And they're like,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, really, no.
But that's the community thing.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do these things.
Like, they're like, no, we're just here to help you do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we just want to belong.
Yeah, we like doing this. We like helping.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben is totally right. It was so great to see some of these people that we hadn't seen in so long.
Yeah, like it's been so long since we've seen Kit, and she was there. I didn't really get to talk to her too much. Like I walked up, said hi, and then I got called away.
Like, I had such a great conversation with Abby Schmitz.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, Abby. Yeah. I haven't seen her in forever, which everyone is like, who's Abby?
Amazing.
Yeah. For the sake of not just like, hey, here's, a picture. Here's Abby in costume right here.
Stargirl, which is getting a movie soon.
Or a TV series.
Well, whatever. She's
on
our Stargirl.
the DC streaming, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, she was with the store helping for forever, and now she's off in college, you know?
Which I had explained to her that, all the New World kids are 12 to me.
Yeah.
She was like, well, that's nice. Well, I'll remember that when I graduate college in a year.
So many amazing people that we got to see.
Yeah. But yeah, my gratitude is...
and I couldn't have pulled off the silent auction without Eddie and Lori.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Just everyone involved. I mean, I know it sounds like a cop-out.
I mean, there's just so many people. The Pittses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, Timble, Zoe. Yeah. It's just
so many invaluable people.
It's humbling. It's flooring. The amount of people that got behind the idea of let's put on a convention.
Yeah.
Which who decided we could have a convention?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
And now they're like, let's do it bigger. Let's do another one.
Yeah. So many people are behind this, and it's surprising every time we do it because it's oh my God, we did it. Thank you all for coming out and being part of this thing that, we're doing it how we want to do it. It's not that we, necessarily think that we can do it better than anything. It's just that this is how we want to do it. And it works. Everyone seems to have a good time, and as soon as they don't, we'll change it to where you do.
Yeah,
because it's not what we want. It's what everyone wants to have fun.
Yeah, it's about what you guys want, and we want to make that happen for you.
So we could go on thanking everyone ad nauseum. So what
which we will in hour number 2 of the podcast.
So we'll give the blanket thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and we'll highlight some more stuff along the way and talk about this for the year to come.
Now, is this the Gary England
story
time?
We'll segue into I guess not so much a story, but I mean it kind of is. The previous owner of the store would take me out to the Taj. It's an Indian food place that used to be real close to the store. They moved to 23rd Street, and Monty is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. He calls me 6B, which is a completely other story, but he invited me out to their Christmas celebration. He says, you make sure you come with him and Bash, and you'll have a phenomenal time. So I go, and food's always great, and everyone there is just happy and having a great time. And they had this palm reader out, and I was like, okay, well, cool, that's neat. And they're like, you don't understand. She is renowned in India as being one of the most famous, most accurate palm readers.
Wow.
I was like, oh, so this is a big deal. She's,
legit.
She's giving everyone one question. You just have to go over there and get in line. So I'm in line. I'm behind all these other teenage girls and boys, and a couple women that are just up there asking their questions, and most of them are like, will I get married? Will I be rich? Will I get married? Will I get married?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, it's not that hard to get married.
Right.
I mean, if that's your goal, pick someone to, hey, let's go do this for whatever,
Yeah, it's that easy for most people, Buck.
I'm not saying a great marriage.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
I'm saying, hey, let's go.
You could probably find someone if you were that desperate.
Right. That is like, I mean, if you lower your standards low, catch in,
Yeah, okay.
So,
gotcha.
So I mean, if that's the qualifier, then how do you do that? And then the ones that will I be rich? That's hard work, dedication. That's something that you can really kind of work at. But the one that I thought, it's what's something that you can't necessarily create. What's something that you can't manufacture,
right?
Like wealth or marriage. And I walked up to her and I said, will I be famous?
Yeah.
Right? And she takes my hand, and she looks at it, raises an eyebrow, looks back at me, looks back down at my hand, and she looks at me in a super, super thick Indian accent, says, Gary England. I'm sorry. She says, Gary England. You'll be Gary England famous.
Nice.
And I thought, wow.
Yeah.
How does she know about Gary England?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like hearing that is that's such a specific level of fame. Like
very specific.
So I will be regionally famous.
Yeah, and I think we should find her again because obviously she knows what she's talking about.
I mean, honestly, she if memory serves right, she was up there in age, and let's hope she's still with us.
Right, right.
But yeah, it was just such a neat little experience. Of Gary England famous, and
it's easy if you go through life knowing that you're going to be Gary England famous. You know what I mean? She blessed you to let you know. So everything you did from then on, you knew what you were working toward.
I don't necessarily say working toward, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to kind of come true. I'll go places and get stopped by people, and I have a wonderful time with it. Sometimes my wife looks at me and is like, "Really again?" Like sometimes we'll be out to eat, and then people will stop by, and But I always love seeing everyone, so it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Because I just love people. But anytime that happens, she looks over at me and does the Gary.
Stephanie, I predict you'll be Damon Lane famous. KOCO meteorologist. So there you go.
He's fancy.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you're not.
I am so fancy.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
There we go. And with that, let's call it a podcast.
All right.
Special thanks to Stephanie Cerny for throwing together an amazing, super duper New World Comic Con. Thank you to Brad Reed of Nerdz to Men fame our standard voice of God for the podcast in case we veer off one way or another or forget things. And I've been Buck Berlin, head honcho and schmuck that doesn't deserve all this. Thank you all so much. I love you all. Have a phenomenal time.